I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everybody to the Laverne Planning Commission February 26, 2019 regular meeting at 6 p.m. We do have a quorum. First item of business is to approve or disapprove the minutes from the January 29th, 2019 regular meeting. I'll entertain a motion if everybody has reviewed them.
Make a motion we approve.
I have a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting minutes passed. First item of business, site plan requested by CDC LLC for 135 Old Nashville Highway, property located at 135 Old Nashville Highway, tax map 15M, Group B, Parcel 2, C2 Highway Service Commercial Zoning District, property owned by Khalil Wagdi, Atux, Bassam Mansour. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. This applicant is seeking site plan approval at this location, which is 135 Old Nashville Highway. And they have been here in the past to the Planning Commission, and they had some technical items that were brought up, and they needed to address those. And so they've been working on that and have made it to this latest submittal. They are proposing a new building of 4,800 square feet. Currently on this lot, there is not anything, so it's a vacant lot. And you can see it has an unusual shape. It's shaped like an L, and that's proved to be challenging for their layout of this site plan. It is zone C2, and there's the zoning map. And this is the latest layout, and you can see it shows that the dumpster location has moved. Previously, the dumpster was toward the rear of this parking area and made it difficult for the truck to unload or, to pick up the trash. So they have moved it over here. There's only one ingress and egress off of George Cheney, and you see in the photos that, so this is the railroad track here just to the west, and then this is that underpass. You can see the car with the headlights coming out. So the railroad crosses here, so there's some elevation change as you go west. And then this gravel area is the approximate location of that ingress egress on the site plan. And again, they are 4,800 square feet. And they did go to the Board of Zoning Appeals in January to receive a special exception to do auto repair. And some of the technical items that are still outstanding, they need a landscape plan, and that needs to be shown with all the plantings for the overlay district. The zoning ordinance requires a 5-foot wide landscape buffer to be installed around all parking lots, and with minimum 3-foot tall plantings. And also, because it's in the overlay, they have to submit full color architectural elevations, and they need to submit a materials board with their proposed materials. And those are the planning comments, and I'll let Mr. Leach cover the engineering comments. Thanks.
Mr. Leach, if you would.
Mr. Chairman, Board, they have not included plans for our required 80% total suspended solid removal prior to discharge. They did, in their drainage report, indicate that a low-impact development worksheet would be included. That was not inside the report provided. They will need to indicate the water quality, depth, riser height, and orifice height for the stormwater control structure that they indicated on their plans. They have not shown their meter box location and location for the RPBP, and their lane width for internal travel lanes for the fire code minimum may not be less than 20 feet, and if you scale this, it's coming in right at around 12-ish feet, which is not of sufficient size for fire apparatus.
Thank you, sir. Do we have a representative here this evening on this item? Since we do not,
Mr. Chairman, we discussed this at the workshop with the applicant. With 7 outstanding issues, it just doesn't, something's not right, and we have to move forward. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to not deny due to the 7 items as listed on the technical report.
we have
And
a,
I'll second that.
we have a motion to deny with the 7 items listed under the technical items, and we have a second from Mayor Cole. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes, sir. Next item. Next item. Final plat, 451 Mason Road, requested by SEC Inc., property located on Mason Road, tax map 29, parcel 5.01, I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by Beacon Transport Properties LLC. Mr. Logan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This property is located on Mason Road, and with this final plat, they're wanting to create 2 lots, and roughly the land area now is about 20.55 acres. And on the plat they submitted, Lot 1 will be 10.38 acres, and then Lot 2 would be 10.17 acres, so they're about evenly sized. All the minimum building setback lines are shown on the plat, and there's also a note that states it's not in a FEMA special flood hazard area. And you can see on the map here, the zoning is I-2, and all the neighboring properties are also I-2. And there's a photo of the site. And this building in the distance is McKesson, which is to the north. And then panning over, this is a cell tower that's located just behind the property. And then over to the right, there's another picture of the cell tower. Over to the right, you can see some of the parking for the semis that's been existing for some time. They don't have any outstanding technical items, and so that completes the report. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
I have some
Aye.
comments. Is this what we were talking about with the sidewalks on that road?
So this is the final, the plat, so they're going to plat it, and then they'll, as they come to
Then
the
they'll
next
put
step.
it.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That'll be the next phase.
But if you look that the applicant did widen the access easement per our request, so he did everything that we asked him to do.
Right, okay.
And all in favor say aye one more time.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Coates, for answering his question. Items number 3 and 4 have been withdrawn, correct, Mr. Logan?
Correct.
We will be moving on to item number 5. Final plat, Naughty property requested by SEC Inc., property located at 137 Woody Thomas Drive, tax map 17E, parcel 23, R1 Low Density Residential Zoning District, property owned by Mina Naughty. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. This property is located in an existing neighborhood on Woody Thomas Drive. You can see here in the image, they have roughly enough space for another lot. So currently today, the lot is 0.95 acres, so almost 1 full acre. And last month, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago at the workshop, they had some technical items that pertain to an accessory structure that was shown on the plat, and it was violating the setbacks. So they also showed the rear setback for R1 zoning should have been shown as 25 feet. So they have corrected that, and they're showing the 25 feet on both lots, and they have addressed the accessory structure, so it's no longer an issue. You can see on the zoning map, there's the lot again, and it is zoned R1. This entire orange area is R1. And there's some photos that were taken a couple weeks ago. And again, there's the street, Woody Thomas, as it curves around. And then that's looking back toward the existing house, existing one-story house. And I don't have any more outstanding technical items. I don't think engineering did, so that's the end of the report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do you have anything, Mr. Leach?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from the board?
I do. Was there some discussion about the property line in the middle being moved at the workshop?
It looks like it has.
It was
Is that
adjusted.
correct?
It was?
Yes, sir.
I know it wasn't far as we were asking, but
They just need to move it really, I think 5 or 6 feet would have been sufficient, and they did that.
And did you guys agree to the placement of the home? Didn't you ask for that to be redirected?
We typically don't, as staff, tell people which way they need to point their house.
I just remember
They
that
do,
in-
they
in
do have a
discussion.
building envelope that they'd have to be within, inside those setback lines.
You look at lot 2, you'll see a dot dash line.
Right.
That's the building area, so that's the area they're going to have to put the building in.
Kind of the baseball park area?
Yeah, the 21,491 square foot is the building envelope.
Okay, gotcha.
Very good. Any other questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept as submitted. Do we have a second?
our second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item. Number 6, set bond amount for Lake Woods Phase 10, tax map 6, parcel 19.02, requested by Danny Womble, R2 Medium Density Residential Zoning District. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. Mr. Womble, on behalf of his client, is requesting that the Planning Commission set the bond amount for the improvements at Lakewoods Phase 10, which consists of 16 lots. And per the subdivision regulations, they have submitted 3 construction bids, an average plus the required 20% contingency, and a stamped estimate has also been provided by the engineer. The bids came from 4 Star Paving, Gaines Construction, and J.B. Rollins Contracting, and the engineer's estimate comes to $70,600 in total. Thanks.
Very good. Any questions or comments in regards to this amount? With that, we'll entertain a motion.
Make a
Motion to
motion to accept the bond amount of $70,600.
We have a motion to accept the stated amount. A second?
A second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Bonds and letters of credit, Mr. Leach.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in your packet, you'll see the bonds and letter of credit update. We haven't received any new bonds lately. We did renew the bond for Pinnacle Point Phase 4. Wilson Bank and Trust is getting that to me. I did send release letters for 3 maintenance bonds that you would have seen last month. Those were for Woodsong Section 6, Section 7, and Mr. Ferran Ferdowsi's property at 5486. All those have been in the ground for more than a year and haven't had any problems, so we've released their maintenance bonds.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments? I'd like to thank everyone. Meeting adjourned.